All right, welcome in. Bettor's Last Stand. Coach is back. Chris is back. Matt here. Show 39 as we prepare for the Kentucky Derby. We got a lot coming up today. We're going to talk NHL, NBA playoffs. We got Sam in the last block of the show. Going to talk about some MLB with him. He's big into the NBA, and then obviously racing is where he makes his money. Recapping last week's BLS, we had a good week. We were up 15.6 units as a group, so it was a strong week for the group overall. Coach, you didn't have any plays last week, so you did not lose. You did not win, so sometimes that's good.
My last 2 weeks have been off.
Chris, yeah, but you're only down 0.4 units last week, so 2-1 in the XFL, 1-2 in the NBA, and 1-1 in
You can only
NHL.
stay down so long, so
right.
I'll be back.
You're resilient, so you're going to get up off the mat. Sam was actually down last week, too. Had some bad luck. Larson getting wrecked early in the race did not help his cause. He had Denny Hamlin, plus 190 for a top 5, so that was a good one. And then I had a ridiculously good week, which will never happen again. I was up 18.1 units, had Truex in the race, 4-1 in soccer, 9-2 in Australian rules football. So strong week for the group overall. Hopefully people were tailing those plays, checking them out on Twitter, Instagram. Be sure and do that at the Pine Room Podcast, and then our Bettor's Last Stand Twitter as well. What's
Is Australian rules football that easy to bet?
No.
Well, 9-2.
I've had 2 good weeks in a row, but as the season starts to go along, it's just like anything else. You start to identify strengths and weaknesses of teams. Now you're starting to get injuries.
I wish that was on like on a Sunday morning about 10, because a lot of times I'll be up and then I'll have I put on soccer a lot of times. Right. Just for background noise, not keeping on it. And I've always
kind of
enjoyed.
10's a little late because that's putting it like a game after midnight at their time. So,
but they should do it for me.
For you, yeah.
I
wish we were in the different hemisphere as well, so we could have those at more of a prime time. Mm-hmm. There's a long fly ball to the warning track. Astros and Giants, 3-2 Giants. Manchester City leading West Ham 1-0. Lots of day baseball. I think the Mets, was that a final score, Coach? They lost game 1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So Boston got 2 in the
Tigers, you mean?
Or I'm sorry,
Detroit,
Tigers got 2 in the 8th.
Yeah. Now, Coach, when he asked you that, if this was live on the radio, they would know right away that you bet them. Oh yeah, sure they did. Just like you're just disgusted.
Listen, he wasn't just giving information; he had a twist of his own fate in it.
I had a huge week, best week I've had in a long, long time last week, and now already I'm feeling the effects of it because I'm getting slaughtered.
Well, can I ask you a question?
What?
You know that's not going to. Why? Take a few days off. Would you just be happy? They can.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Giants just hit a home run.
Or you just don't do that.
No, you can't do that.
Okay.
And then it's one thing or the other. You get down early, and then you start to panic. And I played too many favorites today. That's my problem. I played too many favorites, and they're not gonna. So I hammered the Mets in the game 2 of the doubleheader. Now, can they lose a doubleheader to the lowly Tigers?
Well, Max Scherzer's back. But he hasn't been very good.
That doesn't.
But the Tigers are fucking brutal.
Yeah, well,
they are.
They are bad, but
yeah, baseball's fun. Hopefully, it turns around. We're going to talk about baseball, as I said, in the third segment of the show with Sam. Get his thoughts on the battling Buccos and all that good stuff. But anyway, we did well last week. Hopefully, we can keep it rolling. We're going to talk NFL. We're going to wrap up just real quick. I want to get Chris's final thoughts on the NFL draft and some of these picks. And then we're going to talk hockey playoffs. We got the XFL championship this week. We got USFL into week 4. We got Wells Fargo, finally a decent field in golf for the first time in a few weeks. And then Kentucky Derby in the middle of the show. We're going to talk exclusively about that. Hopefully we can find some winners for people out there. I got a few horses that I like, and then finish up in the show, as I said, with baseball, NBA, and the 2 circuits of racing that are in action this week. We got the Grand Prix in Miami of the Formula One, which is really cool, and NASCAR is in Kansas, which is not so cool. But,
no, it's not.
Actually, they've got that track. This new car's done better on that track. It's been a little more exciting, so hopefully it will be.
Yeah, I saw a lot of NASCAR 18-wheelers heading that way yesterday on the interstate.
Oh, yeah?
Because the race was on Monday, right?
Beautiful Kansas. So they would have had to pull out right after the race. Makes for a short week, but at least they don't have to go to like the California or something. So that's a good thing. All right, so Chris, thoughts? NFL draft. I know everybody's sick of talking about it. Bijan Robinson's the favorite to win Rookie of the Year, 3-1. you guys have any opinion on that? Do you think that's a worthy favorite or
where the hell he go again?
Atlanta, I think. Atlanta.
And then you got Bryce Young, second choice, Nick Jigba. The third choice in Stroud at 7-1 is the fourth choice. Yeah,
and that's hard to say. I mean, I was looking at that draft, and it's funny. We joked before about how they put letter grades on these things.
Yeah,
and the lowest grade, I went through all the teams. The lowest grade anybody got was a C, and the highest grade anybody got was an A-. And
who got the C?
Well, the Cowboys got a C+, New England did too, and the Falcons got a C.
I never saw a C on all the ones I
Most
saw.
of the ones I saw are A's and B's.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Well, Mark, did you watch any of the draft?
No, not 1 second.
Okay, well, and it's funny because I think I was talking to Matt about it. Every pick that is made, the analyst,
he's a great player.
The guy has very few weaknesses. It's a great pick.
Perfect fit.
Right. And everybody in the war room is high-fiving, hugging, fist bumps. It was almost like
it's weird.
It really, I mean,
it's troubling actually.
For sure. So
but that's our society though. We congratulate people for doing their job.
Yeah.
Like let's start hugging and celebrating because we made a pick.
Every single one. I mean,
Mel Kiper did good this year. He got one pick right. One fucking pick.
Did he?
One. The first pick, that was it. It's the only one he got right in any of his mock drafts.
Who did he have 1 second? Do you remember?
Must have been
Stroud
defensive.
second,
no, it was a
right?
defensive player. It was either Anderson or Carter. Yeah.
He's a buffoon.
Yeah. And then everybody can't wait. Hey, let's check out Mel's big board for 24. Why would anyone care? He's
exactly.
He's not right.
Well,
you might as well have George could have got one right.
Yeah.
Mr. Kettlewell. He would have. Let's go to George's.
I mean, it's just absurd how they grade these guys, and I don't know if it's based on what they need or they do the best player available. But you know, obviously you don't know any of this how that's going to turn out for 2-3 years. But they did a thing on the 2020 draft, and they were reviewing it, and about 8 of the guys out of the 32 are actually really
like
productive
players. Yeah.
There's about 8 that are okay, and the rest, and then two guys. One of them was Henry Ruggs, and somebody else had off-field issues.
Yeah.
So it's a crap.
Probably one of them guys for the Raiders.
Well, we talked
wielding handguns.
Yeah.
We talked on our show yesterday, which would be Tuesday. They shouldn't grade the draft now.
No.
They should be grading the 2020, like the 2020 draft now. Go through every team and now give them a grade on how they did.
Yeah.
Because how do you know? I mean, you never know. Like Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
Who knows about any of these guys? Grade them in 2 years and see where they are. See how they're fitting in with the team, where they are, what their statistics are. Are they clutch players? Because everything's just speculation now.
And it's based on their measurables with that stupid combine.
Combine.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure that's obviously very important. They have to be extremely athletic, but there's a lot of other intangibles that I don't think are figured in the whole thing.
No.
And after 2 or 3 years, then you know how that draft. And like you just said, how many of those guys are still really playing well that were in the 2020 draft?
Right, and then if you grade them 3 years later, you just wonder how many all those organizations, how many changes there would have already been in their front office. Guys getting fired over stupid-ass picks.
A lot of guys are be fired.
So I just don't I don't put much stock in it.
Yep. All right. Well, that's enough of that crap.
Right.
Let's move along. Chris, NHL playoffs got cranked back up second round the other day. So what observations so far? I know you're very happy
about the Rangers getting beat.
Well, I bet you were. But you're more happy about Toronto and the Oilers winning. Those are your. I think there's a conspiracy for them to be in the finals, but
who, the Leafs,
the Oilers, and
the
Leafs.
It's been 30 years since Canada's won it.
They'll try to match them up in there.
But Toronto might be in trouble in that series after that.
Yeah,
I'm still picking them to win. I'm still picking them to win in 7. But
both road teams won, didn't they?
Yeah, road teams have been very strong in the playoffs. They 2-0 again last night, and both teams to score in the first period knows now 39-13. That's pretty strong too throughout the playoffs. So
what is it? What
both teams to score in the first period 39-13. So really good.
It's hard not to be impressed with the Devils.
Yeah,
they're
not really ready to do. They're not really ready to do this yet.
Well, they fell behind 2-0 to the Rangers too.
Yeah. badly.
Down 2-0.
They were really
Like 10 to-
unimpressive.
outscored
2-0.
like 10-2.
It wasn't like they played well and they got beat 2 close games. No, they got just shellacked by.
Yeah,
And then
that
did they
is-
lose the first 2 games at home?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they won the next 3.
two.
The next 3,
The next
and then
2
the
at
rain.
home.
Yeah, 2 at home, and then they went back to New York, 1, and they lost Game 6 or
Right.
Game
5
6
yeah.
in Washington, in New York, and then won Game 7 at home. But yeah,
I think they've so far they've been really, really entertaining.
Yeah, they
the
have.
Devils.
I mean, just in general.
The Devils?
Well, the Devils, yes.
Yeah, I think. The Devils, and soon as they went to that goalie Schmid.
yeah,
yeah.
and man, he
22 years old.
He has been.
Where'd he come from?
I don't know where he came
It's
from.
their system. I mean,
He shut him
guy
out.
they had.
He threw a shutout the last game, right? They won 4-0.
4-0.
Well, he had the
in Game
glove
7.
hand working, man.
Yeah.
He looked great.
I like them. I still like them to win that series. I think that's gonna be a hell
That'll
of a
be
series,
that'll
though.
be a good series.
gonna be a
Carolina
hell
will be
of a
able to
series.
match them a little bit speed. And they're a lot more tough than the Rangers. So this will be a test. If Jersey gets punched in the face a few times, what that'll be like. But yeah, good series. I expect that to go at least 6 games. Edmonton and the Golden Knights get it going tonight, and then we just mentioned the Devils and Hurricanes.
Is that the only game tonight?
No,
No,
there's
it's
2 games.
Devils and Hurricanes and
Okay, Devils,
Vegas
okay.
and Golden.
I'm
Or Vegas and
I'm
Oilers.
going against your Oilers, Chris. I'm taking the Golden Knights in 6.
If they can just stay off the power, keep Edmonton off the power play, they'll probably win. But Vegas surprised me. They played really good against the Jets, who I liked a lot in that series, and that was a very good performance. Hopefully they can keep it going. They have home ice, but that hasn't mattered much. And then last night, as Chris said, home ice again doesn't matter. Florida wins at Toronto. Seattle, incredibly, comes and beats Dallas. Dallas gives
Wow.
up 4 in the first period.
Yeah.
Which Jake Ottinger, who's been the best goalie in the playoffs, gets lit up. But I still think that'll be a long series too. I expect a couple of Game 7s, at least 2, maybe 3 in these. These are so evenly matched, and the value's on the dogs right now. The value's definitely on the dogs, and I tell you, it's been giving out unders in these games have been tough because even
Yes.
the good unders have turned into overs. As our bad beat of the week was you think you have Bruins and under.
Oh, yeah, I saw that earlier, yeah.
3-2 with a minute to go in the game. You got the best team in hockey. Can they not lock it down for 1 minute? No, they can't. So you look like you're going to cash a Bruins and under on Sunday night, and it turns into a Florida Panthers and over. So I would say I really thought that the Kraken and Stars series was going to be an under series, but so far it didn't. It was 9 goals last night,
Yeah.
and then you had 6 in the Toronto game.
Well, I had that game over the total, and it started out really slow,
Right.
And then it went to 2-2, and then 3-2 early.
Yeah, and when you're getting that, do you have 6.5?
Yeah, and
so you're just begging for that third goal
Just
to
that
tie
tie.
it. If you can just get the teams
final
4-2.
4-2. Okay.
Yeah, if you can just get that to 3-3,
Right,
you're golden, and that's
right.
the
That's
nice
what
thing about it.
I
but-
thought the Leafs would score again.
Yeah,
Really
no,
did.
they didn't. I did too. I got to say, Chris, your buddy Bob Brofsky's had a resurgence.
He really has.
He's played a couple of good games in a row. Beats Boston, beats Toronto, both on the road, both improbable victories for the Panthers.
So what are you guys playing? I'm taking Vegas in 6 in that series.
I'd go just the opposite of that.
I'd take
I'm going
Vegas.
to take Edmonton.
I'd take Vegas in 6. I'd take New Jersey.
I'm taking New Jersey in 7.
I'd take Jersey in 6,
All
and
right,
then
what are
I'd
you
take.
playing there, Chris?
I actually take. I bet.
Which one? Mark?
Jersey, Carolina.
Jersey in 7.
That's what I'm playing. Jersey in 7.
And I
And
actually
you're taking Jersey in 6, Matt.
yes, Jersey in 6. I like a lot of these in 6. So
And
Yeah, and see, I like Toronto in 6.
I like Toronto in 7,
I like
being down 1.
I like Florida. I actually made this bet. Florida in 6 games. I think Toronto blew their load so hard against
he's never
to
going to
win
play
Tampa.
Toronto.
No, I just don't think they're very good. Like I'm tired of hearing. To me, Edmonton is far better than they are. Like way better. Like if they played in a series, I think Toronto would get embarrassed just because of Edmonton's power play. But no,
All right, I'm playing Toronto in 7. Chris, where are you playing there?
Toronto in 6, Coach.
And you're playing Florida in 6.
I played Florida in 6. Yes.
Well, you're up 1-0 right now, so that's.
Yeah, well, that could.
And
turn
I
around.
like Dallas. I think that's an evenly matched
I'm playing
series.
Dallas in 7.
Yep.
Yeah, Dallas
Same
in
here.
7 also.
And Houston just got beat.
Oh God.
Yep, Houston just got beat. So I'm 0 for 2 on the day.
Nice job.
You got a lot of games to make it up, though, Mark.
Ugh.
Right,
I know
because it's
it.
easy to do.
Yes.
That's the thing. All right, So NHL it's been definitely the most exciting playoffs without question.
Yes.
And we'll talk NBA when Sam comes on because he's pretty into that. I don't know how he stomachs watching that stuff every night, but glad somebody can do it. Now we're going to focus on the XFL championship game, Chris. I'm surprised you're not going to this game out in San Antonio. You've been pretty invested in this league.
I had a prior obligation.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just have to watch and enjoy this game. It's a Saturday night game, ESPN at 8 o'clock. Arlington and DC. DC is a team that we talked about a lot. They're we kind of thought they were one of the better teams the entire season. So we're not really surprised that they're here. Arlington, a little bit of a surprise. They're
5-6.
Yeah, weren't great in the regular season, but played DC really tough in Week 9. Lost by 2. It was
They lost in overtime. Yeah,
10-point spread, and they easily covered that. Game went over the total of 43. So what are you thinking here, Chris?
Well, if Arlington's going to have a chance, DC hasn't played all that well the last 3 games in the regular season. They won by a combined 4 points. Now they won last 8, but that game last week was tied at 9. And I don't know if it went into the second half, but it was
then they
close
kind of
for a
pulled
while.
away with Seattle.
But Arlington, and what's Arlington is what minus, or they're +6.
Yeah, +6.
Yeah, I don't know. I still would go with DC in this.
I think DC wins, but I think Arlington covers. So I would play, if you're looking for a money line to put in a parlay, I'm going with DC. But I think Arlington keeps it better than 6, and if he can find 6.5 out there.
You know what? It is just crazy how, and you guys see it all the time, that DC's only loss this year was against Orlando Guardians.
Yeah, I remember watching the game.
And Orlando's only win.
Yeah, no, and Orlando played really good, and they were going up and down the field. DC couldn't stop them. I happened to watch probably more of that game than any of the other games because I just happened to have it on, and it was like a seesaw game, tons of scoring. So
I've enjoyed the XFL.
Yeah, it hasn't been bad.
No.
I like the total in the game over too. I think in the
like
XFL, I think you'll get weirder things than in like a regular NFL game or a college game, or maybe teams are a little bit careful. I don't think anybody's going to be careful in this game, and I could see teams going for crazy 3-point tries and all kind of stuff, so points could add up in a hurry. I like Arlington to cover the 6, but I like DC to win the game, and I like the over. Coach, any thoughts?
I'm playing the over.
Okay.
I like the over also. I think
over 46.
Yeah, I think there's going to be points scored in that game.
All right, so that'll be in San Antonio, so neutral field, probably a little more likely to have Arlington fans there than DC. I'm not sure how many people.
Chris, you go right from the Kentucky Derby into the XFL championship game. That's exciting.
Oh yeah, because it went 8 o'clock. Yeah,
right
Derby's
after.
right before 7.
That used to be an NHL playoff slot when NBC had it. It would be right after the Derby. Now it's XFL.
Pretty fun weekend this weekend.
Yeah, not bad.
Yes,
not bad. All right, and then we finish up this segment with the USFL. USFL last week, all 4 dogs win the games, not just cover. They freaking win. The New Orleans wins. They were +6. They win outright. Houston wins +3. They win outright. Pittsburgh wins +6.5. They win outright. And New Jersey wins +4.5. They win outright. Overs and unders 2-2. So they split out. Chris, did you watch any of these games over the weekend? A little bit? Anything? None? Okay.
No.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Nah, it's okay. I didn't know if you had any thoughts. So, all right.
No, I really
let's
don't.
get into this week's games. Houston at Philadelphia. That's the Gamblers at the Stars. Houston -3. The total 44.5. I like the over in the game here. I think there'll be some points. Philadelphia's defense is really terrible. So I'll be leaning on the over.
Which game are you on here?
Houston and Philadelphia. First game. It's a 1:00 kick on Saturday.
Okay.
And I'll be leaning towards the over. Any thoughts on that one, Chris? Any gut feelings?
No. You know what? I'm going to go with Philadelphia. That city is just so jacked up with football, and it's going to carry over from the NFL draft. Everybody's happy, and so and that makes no sense. But
it might. Who knows?
It's a football town.
They're lunatics. But all right.
So I'll take them giving 3
all
over.
right, so you got Philly, and I got over in that one. All right, Memphis at Michigan. That's a night game on Saturday. It'll be 7:30, going right up against that big XFL championship game. Michigan -6. The total 43.5. Memphis is pretty bad from what I've seen so far. They're 0-3. I'm going to lay the points with Michigan, but I don't want to lay more than 6. So if it goes any higher than that, I'll be getting off of that. Chris, thoughts?
I'm taking the under.
Coach, any thoughts on that one?
I'm playing the under also in that game.
2 unders, under 43.5. And then Sunday's action, 3 o'clock kick. The New Orleans Breakers, who were 3-0 at the 2-1 New Jersey. What the hell was their name? It says Devils on here, but that's definitely an error.
Weren't they used to be the Generals?
Generals. That's the Generals, yeah. All right, the Breakers, -4, 46.5 is the total. I'm playing the Generals plus the points at home.
That's exactly what I just circled.
Okay, Coach?
Yep, same way.
All right, take the dog in that one. And then Sunday, Birmingham, the Stallions at the Pittsburgh Maulers. Birmingham 2-1 defending champions who did not play well last week. And then the Maulers, who got their first win, and they are 1-2 in the season. Birmingham -6, total 44.5.
Where are they playing this game?
I don't know. I thought they were all playing at Canton. I didn't look.
Well, yeah, but definitely it's on Pittsburgh.
Not that I know.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say
they're
definitely.
They're getting 6.
I wouldn't say definitely, but yeah, no, I'll be taking the under in this game. Pittsburgh's offense is, it looks like when Duck Hodges played for the Steelers. So, going to be an underplay for me. Any thoughts from you guys on this big showdown?
I'm going to take the Maulers getting 6. I don't think they're going to win, but I think
I'm going to play Birmingham there. Okay. I like Birmingham.
Birmingham Coach will lay the points with Birmingham.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, that does it for our first segment here of Bettor's Last Stand. We're going to come back. We're going to dive into. Actually, no, I'm wrong because I'm going to do golf. Sorry. We're going to finish with golf here, and then we'll go into Kentucky Derby. So let's talk a little bit about the golf here. We have the Wells Fargo, which is actually a pretty good field.
Yeah, it is. After our last 2 weeks.
The last few weeks have been horrible.
Yeah, and, pretty bad.
We bounced back here.
Guys are rested up now. Even though Scheffler and Rahm are not playing in this, they're not playing in this tournament. You still have a bunch of really good golfers in this tournament. I like this tournament this week.
Rory McIlroy, the favorite at plus 750, 7-1, 8-1 range. He's bitching and whining like a little baby, like he always does about not getting his bonus checks because he's skipping tournaments.
Who was?
Rory McIlroy.
Okay.
And it's amazing. He criticized all these live guys for saying the exact same thing, and now he's going and doing it. So he's a hypocrite. I can't stand him. I won't be betting him. I would never even want to cash a ticket with him.
I agree.
Plus, he's too low of a price anyway. No value.
What was that? Why did he ever find out why he sat out?
He said he had things that he had a reason or something.
Oh, no, he never gave a real reason.
No, he never did.
Nobody ever knew why he did sit out.
Nope. So yeah, he skipped it twice, missed out on $3 million, and now he's whining and crying to the Monahan, the president of the PGA. So I don't know. Enough of Rory. He's the favorite here. We'll
I'm not
be passing on him.
I'll
probably fade him actually, because then he's not going to like it when people start asking him questions because he's a little baby. That'll cause him some issues, I think. So,
I am definitely not a Rory.
A couple of the other guys that are kind of, I guess you would say, favorites here. Patrick Cantlay, Mr. Slow Play. I hear he got a new caddy now. I hear that there's guys now saying on the tour they don't want to be paired with him. So that's something you got to take into account now. If you see your guy you like paired with him for how slow he's been playing, that could affect them and be hurt the guy that you like if he's got to wait, and maybe the group behind who has some guys that like to play at a quicker tempo and they can't tee off because they're waiting on him to finish up. So that could get ugly. Patrick Cantley's eventually going to get beat up, I think, by somebody. Yeah. Bryson DeChambeau, or he's going to join Live Golf like Bryson DeChambeau.
I mean, is it that bad that it? I mean,
well, it was that bad at the major, the Masters. Right. Koepka was pissed, but that didn't help because of the weather. So, but yeah, I don't know. They're hopeful that this new caddy maybe will make him play faster, which I don't see happening. Tony Finau, last week's winner, 14-1 this week. He played well. He held off Rahm late. Coach, you needed Rahm last week, but Finau finally shut the door. It's funny when we don't have him, he wins. When every time I do bet him, he's
a guy I just can't bet. I can't find the right side on him.
Yeah. All right. So Xander Schauffele, another guy who's 14-1. He's a guy that I'd like to take a look at. Who are your top go-tos here at the Wells Fargo?
Well, Max Homa is a defending champ.
Yep.
He's what's Homa going off?
20-1, around 20-1.
20-1. Okay, he was 40-1 last year and won it. Here, well, it wasn't at Quail Hollow last year. It was because they had the PGA Championship there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I forget where it was, but he's the defending champ of this particular tournament. But
right, just not at this venue. Yeah.
Right. A couple guys that I like. Been doing some homework on these guys. I think JT. He's had a couple weeks off.
Yep.
I think he'll be rested, ready to go. I like him a little bit. I tell you, a guy that's playing really good right now, and he's an awkward looking guy, but he played well last week is Thigala.
Yeah.
I really
got him too, Coach.
I really like him. He tied for 5th last week. He's been really, really consistent. I really like him. I think.
He wasn't looking through a viewfinder. He wasn't recording video. He was just lost in the moment.
Oh.
That was his natural.
Sorry.
I thought we were getting some inside.
Wait a second.
I thought we were getting some inside info. But I like Sahith Thigala. I really like him this week. I like him to definitely finish in the top 5. That's one of my better plays of the week. I like him in the top 5. A couple guys I like to finish in the top 10. I think Ricky Fowler will finish in the top 10. I don't know what you guys think about Ricky Fowler. I think he'll finish in top. I like Cam Davis this week also. He's one of my better plays. I think he'll be in the top 10. And I like Gary Woodland. I played Woodland last week. He sort of let me down. He had a bad second round. But I like Woodland in the top 10. So those are some guys I like, and then I like a couple of matchups. I like Fleetwood. I like Tommy Fleetwood a little bit.
Is he with Shane Lowry?
He is.
Okay, yeah.
I like Fleetwood over Lowry.
I got the same goddamn thing. That's funny. I got him as well.
I like Tommy Fleetwood over Lowry. I like Victor Hovland over Jordan Spieth. I think that'll be a really good matchup, but I think he'll beat Jordan Spieth. And then I'm a Matt Kuchar fan. I really like Matt Kuchar. I like him a lot, but I think Taylor Moore will beat Kuchar this week. Those are 3 of my matchup plays this week. I do like you mentioned Xander, right, Matt?
Yeah,
I like Xander too.
Yeah.
I think Xander will have a chance to win this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so
14-1. I wouldn't want to go much lower than that.
No,
but I'll take a shot with 14. I like Hovland too. Here's my second choice at 20-1. Cameron Young at 22-1, and then Sam Burns at 30-1. Those were the guys that I liked, and then a couple of longer guys, top 10 guys. Steven Yeager, Emiliano Grillo. Both you can get those guys at I think 10-1 to finish in the top 10. So that's a pretty good price. Chris, what are you looking at here?
I had Tommy Fleetwood over Shane Lowry. Both of these guys are kind of going in opposite directions. Fleetwood's playing much better. Lowry's only had one top 10 finish this season, so I like Tommy there. And the same with the coach said about Sahith Thigala. I mean, it's his first appearance here at Quail Hollow, but if he keeps his, sometimes he struggles with driving accuracy, but his game should fit this course well. And he has 7 top 10s and 17 starts. So,
boy, he's an odd-looking guy, man. Jesus,
I think he's from India.
Yeah, and he's a Gomez too. He's Gomez, isn't he?
No.
Is he not a Gomez?
No, he's a righty.
Oh, okay, he is a righty. Yeah, he is.
He's been playing really well. Yeah. This is a long course, so guys who hit it far.
What is he, 50-1, Matt?
Yeah, he's not a bad price on him. Need some good putting here, but definitely guys who pound it in some very long par 4s. Yes. Like 9 of them that are over 450 yards. So a good course. Quail Hall has always been kind of a challenge. Hopefully the scores won't be through the roof, which they shouldn't be. It's supposed to be some weather in the forecast, so maybe some tough playing conditions, and then watch out if your guys get paired with Patrick Cantlay. Just be careful there. So just to recap, Coach is on Fleetwood over Lowry, Hovland over Spieth, Taylor Moore over Kuchar. Chris doubles up with that, Fleetwood over Lowry. Chris loving Thigala, Coach loving Thigala. Coach Ricky Fowler, top 10. Gary Woodland, top 10, and he likes JT. And that's good stuff.
Before you end that,
yes,
how do the pairings go? How does that work?
What do you mean?
When you talked about getting paired up with Kent.
Well, the first 2 days you play with the same guys. You just
it's just a draw.
It's just draw.
It's a draw.
Okay.
But then on the weekend you just get paired by score.
Right. Okay.
So you're stuck with him. If you're stuck with Patrick Cantlay out of the draw, you're getting him for Thursday and Friday.
What is it, like a random draw or something? Like the first. Okay, I just didn't know that. All right.
Yes, sir. All right, that does it for the first segment of Bettor's Last Stand. Now we did get through everything. We're going to come back and talk Kentucky Derby, and then finish off the show with baseball, NBA, and racing with Sam, who will be Skyping in. You're listening to Bettor's Last Stand. We'll be right back.
Reminder, Bettor's Last Stand is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activities should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. You're watching Bettor's Last Stand.
All right, welcome back in Bettor's Last Stand. Matt, Chris, Coach with you here on a cold and I don't even know how to describe it, but it's getting warmer outside, but it's not very good right now, so it feels like winter for a few more hours. Tomorrow it's going to be nice, and it's going to be very nice on Saturday at Churchill Downs in Louisville. No rain in the forecast, should be nice and warm in the 70s, and we should have a nice fast racing surface, and the turf should be firm and fast as well. And we are ready for the Kentucky Derby. Going to go through a few of these guys who we like here, and just give you some opinions, give you some thoughts to maybe start to put some bets together for yourself. So be sure and get over to the racetrack or get your betting app ready to go. Don't wait till the morning of the race. You better get it taken care of. The earlier the better, because you don't want to have any issues with assholes on the morning of the race delaying you or kind of throwing you off when you're trying to get your picks in. So they drew the post positions on Monday, so we have an idea of who's starting where, and that's a good thing, because a lot of your strategy is going to be based on where guys are going to start and what posts are going to break from, and which horses are going to be forwardly placed and which ones will sit back, and if any of them have issues at the gate, so on and so forth. So just briefly, let's go through the field here, and let's get a little insight on each one of these horses. So down in the one hole right now, you got Hit Show. So he's a son of a Tappet, and Mr. Prospector is his brood mare sire. So he's got some good for his distance. He's got some strong accolades for his distance. He's the son of Candy Rod, but as I said, he's got the Tappet and the Mr. Prospector in his bottom half of his pedigree. I don't like him because of his post. His post is number one. You get stuck down there. It's not a good spot, Coach.
That's what I was going to ask. Okay, so as soon as the Hit Show sees that they're number one, are their chances? Do they know their chances are very slim to win this?
They know it's a definite disadvantage, and it's going to be a hindrance. But Manny Franco is very good out of the gate. He's going to be the jockey on Hit Show. So what he's got to try to do is
get to the front early.
Well, he's going to need to be breaking with speed, obviously, to try to clear, to try to get up into the turn where they're going to get ready to make the turn faster than any of the other horses, because you're going to have 20 of them out there. You're going to have all the ones that are wide trying to just fly over to try to get towards the rail, try to save ground. And then the problem is it's a chain reaction. So especially the worst thing that can happen to the one spot guy and the two spot is like the 3 and the 4 break to the left towards the inside, and then they push down. If they would somehow break out a little bit and you can get a little space and get yourself gapped and maybe beat a couple of those horses that are coming from the wide side into the first straightaway, that could help you. But Manny Franco is really going to have to get lucky. This is a hard spot. I tried to win from Larry last year with Mo Donegal, and he had the best rider, Irad Ortiz, on him, and he got pinned, and he was flying late, but he had to use so much energy to get up the track, get around people, and then be able to finish with a flourish is just really hard, because you got to be careful. You use so much horse to get him where you need him to go that he has nothing left. But and then sometimes the horse, once he wants to go, he's not going to stop. He's not going to let up. He's going to fight you. And then other times the horses just don't want to go. I'm not used to going this early. I'm not going to go. So then you're disadvantaged there. So Hit Show is going to have a hard time.
Really,
being a closer helps him a little bit because he falls back. But man, he's going to lose so much track position, and he's just really going to be.
But then when you get behind like 12, 13, 14 horses and you get boxed in, back, then it's got to be really difficult to get by those horses, right? I mean, once you're trapped, or whatever word you use, boxed in, then trying to you might even be strong, but you're trying to get around him. Is that
Yeah, it's a definite. I mean, you're basically, the jockey has more to navigate in this race than in pretty much any other race in the United States, because you have 20 horse field, and it'll always pretty much be 20 horses. Maybe you could get down to 19 here or there if there's a scratch late, but you're having to navigate so many things, and these are young horses too. They're 3 years old, and they're not really that well experienced, a lot of them, so they've never been in situations like this. A lot of them have never had mud kicked in their faces because they've been the best horse in the races that they've been in leading up to this, so they're always clear and they're right where they want to be, and everything goes perfect for them.
Right.
So then you just see them at their natural talent and they win. But now you got to face all these different factors of trying to get him out of the being jammed against the rail, or he gets bumped really hard at the start, and you got to worry about that, and jockey staying in the stirrups, and all kinds of things can go wrong. And yeah, a lot of times when you're out there and you finally get in the clear, the pass shuts off, or your horse has nothing left. And as you saw last year with Rich Strike, he weaved through there late. He was able to save enough ground. I mean, his jockey did a really good job, but he was a closer, and his jockey didn't have to go over fast because Sonny Leone knew his horse was going to be running late. All he needed to do was get to the rail as fast as he can and as safe as he could, and it wasn't going to affect him at all. So he was drawn outside at post 20. He had the very last post. So his actually was number 22 in the program, but that's because he had 2 scratches. But he gets over, and he doesn't have to worry. So if you're a closer, you got a much better shot if you're outside of probably the first 6 posts, 6 to 8 posts.
Okay.
If you're out there in the wide side where you're looking at Lord Miles and Continuer, they're closers. They're on the way outside. They're 19 and 20. Ray's Kane is in the 16 hole. Those horses, those that are closers, they're going to be fine as far as getting their position. Now, whether or not they're good enough to win the race is a whole different story, and we'll get to that. But Hitch shows up against it. He's going to have a hard time.
Man,
yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah, please.
So the disadvantage of being in the one slot there against the rail, he's 30-1 odds. If he's somewhere else positioned, or his odds much better.
Yeah, Hitch show. He's Brad Cox, so he's really his odds would probably be half of that. He'd probably be 12-1.
That's a great question.
Yeah. He would be about half of that. Definitely,
Jeez,
Mike Battaglia, who does the morning line for Churchill. He's been doing it for a long time, since the 70s. Yeah, definitely takes that into account. And you have to know that's a problem. You're not. It's a totally, with 20 horses, the one spot. It's a definite disadvantage. So I'd say he'd be probably between 12 and 15-1 versus what do you have him on that page? 20, 25?
This is 30.
30, okay. So, yeah. So, about half of that. Yeah, I'd say then 15 probably, because originally I saw him at 25. But anyway, he's going to get pinned. He's going to get pinned down in there unless Manny Franco does a good job, which I'll say Manny Franco is very good out of the gate, so maybe he could, and he could surprise somebody.
So, if Forte would have drawn the one hole, would his odds been higher?
Yeah, he would have
3-1.
Yeah, he probably. They still would have probably made him the favorite because of his natural talent. So he might have been around 4 or 5, but it would have definitely made them have to say, "Well, geez, I don't know who the post time favorite could maybe be different than the morning line favorite," which doesn't happen very often.
Is that a great spot for Forte?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it shouldn't affect him at all. It should be a nice, clear trip. He should be able to be and go wherever he wants to go. He's not going to be super far behind, I wouldn't think, but he'll be in the mid pack, probably about almost center of the track, right behind the lead pack. So he has a little bit more tactical speed than a lot of these horses, and that's probably why he's favored. As everyone knows, he's the favorite. He's between 3-4-1. He may be down at 2-1 by the time the race starts. But with last year's upset of the 80-1 level horse, people are going to be betting these underdogs and wanting them to win. That doesn't happen very often. So you got to be conscious of that. You don't want to just blindly bet these underdog horses because you saw it happen last year. As let's see, 10 of the last 23 horses have been in the Kentucky Derby. 10 of the last 23 winners have been favorites. So you've had 10 favorites out of 23. And then the favorites the last 5 years: Epicenter last year finished second, Central Quality finished third, Tiz the Law finished second, Improbable was fourth, and Justify was first. So all the post time favorites have run in the top 4. So they've all been in the Superfecta in the last 5 years. So keep that in mind when you're building your tickets. I'm going to be against Forte, but I'm probably going to still have to use him in some of my underneath stuff. So just to kind of save yourself, and you don't want to get burned by leaving off a horse that's that talented, because he is a very talented horse. I think he's kind of plateaued, so I think that's a good chance to try to beat him. But he's definitely a formidable favorite and is pretty good.
So when we're looking at this, as you're watching the race, what do you break it down into quarters? How do you break your time down during the race?
So they'll say quarters and half, and then
your quarter would be what time?
If for me, so just getting into the way that I think that the race is going to lay out, I do not think this is going to be a speed duel like it was last year. The Japanese horse that came in last year flew to the front and he made those other horses, they had to absolutely max out to keep up with him early in the race. He fell apart, and so many other guys did too. And that's why Rich Strike the door was open for him to come. So I do not see that happening at all. I watched a lot of these replays. I've watched every single one of these horses multiple times in all of their races. And there's not a horse in here that has absolutely blistering speed like some of the ones last year. So there's not going to be a horse that's going to say, I solely need to lead to win this race. So if you're going to be able to keep this in the 23-second, the first quarter, anywhere in that range, the type of race that I'm expecting could play out that way. If it's faster than that, then if you start seeing in 22 and change, or God forbid 21, then I'm wrong. So you'll know right away. But if I get like anything in the 2023 24 opening quarter, I'm going to be very happy, because the horses that I'm going to be leaning on are going to be the horses that I'm going to be leaning on are going to be forward placed horses. I don't think closers will be as big a factor, because I don't think the pace is going to be as fast, because I don't see that speed duel materializing like last year. So what I think is going to happen is the 4 horse who is hang on, I got him written down. The 4 horse confidence game. Yeah, so he likes to be forward, but he's not very fast. I watched his races. He's gotten leads because he's been against bad fields. So everybody thinks he's just going to fly up there and then people are going to chase him. I disagree with that. I think Verifying is going to be forward if he can get out of the 2 spot. So that kind of compromises things too. So Verifying's probably going to get trapped down inside. I don't think Confidence Game's as fast as other people think he is. So I'm not going to be leaning on him to be part of the pace. I think he'll be in the second group. He'll be trying to be forward, but I'm not sure that he's as quick as people think he is. Derma Sotogake, the 17, who's my pick to win, is going to have an opportunity to go right to the lead. I don't think he will. Christophe Lemaire's riding him, who rode the horse that set the pace last year. He blew the horse out, and you couldn't do that. So I think he's probably learned his lesson. This horse is far more talented than the one that he had last year. He was outstanding in the UAE Derby, and he probably ran the best Beyer speed figure of any horse in this race. Now, it wasn't the UAE, and they're 0 for 17, and everybody will tell you the Japanese horses can't win, and blah, 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 blah. You'll hear that, but they're getting better and better, and this horse will definitely have a chance. So I think he goes right out, but I think he sits right off the lead. The horse that I think is going to be in front is Reincarnate, the number 7. I think John Velasquez, being the veteran jockey that he is going to sense that he's going to be able to get a lead in this race, maybe a soft lead, and be able to put up fractions that are like in 24 seconds and then 49. And if he has that going for him, he's going to have a chance to wire the field. And if anybody can do it, it would be Johnny V. So I look for the 7 to make a abnormally aggressive move to try to get to that first turn and set the pace and slow everything down and make things go slow. I just don't see the speed materializing up front at all. So I'm looking for fractions. If I could get in the 24 second and then in the high 48s or 49 for the half, I would feel great about my chances with my horse.
What number do you not want to see to have for Derma Sotogake and Reincarnation to be in trouble?
Well, if it's Derma Sotogake, depending on where he is, I don't think he's going to need the lead, because he's got very good tactical speed. He could sit 5th. He could be 1st. So if if I'm wrong and the 7 doesn't go, then maybe the 17 and the 4 are out front, or some people have thought that the 2, if the 2 can clear his impediment of being pinned down inside, can get out there. But I do not want to see. I don't want to see 23s if I can help it, and then obviously anything below that would be just deadly. I mean, you'd have to have somebody have like a freakish effort to be able to be in the forward group and still be able to win.
What's the what have they posted the time that you can bet the race to be?
That'll probably be around 2:03. The track's going to be pretty fast, so it could be 2:01. I think last year was maybe I had it written down.
And do you
Wait,
think
what's that question mean? What did you?
The total
2
time
minutes, 2
around
seconds, and 20
around the track.
and 1/5 or whatever.
Gotcha.
around the track? Who?
So it's basically a 2 minute roughly, but yeah, it'll be in the low 2s.
And do you think a good bet there will be?
I would say
slower.
Over. I would say it'll be over.
Slower.
Yeah.
So slower.
Yes.
You're saying slower.
I'm saying slower. My whole entire handicapping is based on, and not just, it's only because I didn't just decide that. The horses that I think are the best in the best positions to win and dictate terms in this race tell me that it's going to be a slower race. It's not going to be as fast as last year, I don't think. If it is, then my horses are really going to have to run their hooves off to be able to stay in contention. But I'll cover myself because there's going to be a few horses. The 6, Kings Barnes, who I like, he's going to sit off of the lead. He's not going to be super forward, and he's got very good tactical abilities. He could be out front. He could be 5th. He could be 8th. He could be 12th. He's very inexperienced, but he's got very good tactical ability. So wherever he is, I think he will have a chance so long as he's close. Reincarnate, who is the 7. I expect him to be forward, as I said, with Johnny Velasquez. I think he probably sets the tempo. Mage, the number 8, I think he'll be in that forward group, probably about 6 or 7 off of the lead. And then the other Japanese horse, Continuer, who has never been able to beat Derma Sotogake, so I'm not sure how good he is, but I wouldn't completely discredit him. And then the 18, way outside. This horse may be more of the closing style, but I think he could sit close enough with Junior Alvarado. He impressed me. This horse, I wasn't real enamored with him, but the more I watched him in some of his later races, he's pretty good finisher, and I think he could be dangerous. He's going to wear blinkers for the first time too, so maybe he focuses in a little bit better. And Bill Mott got me the big win a few years ago with Country House at 65-1, so he can definitely do that. So those are my top choice though is Derma Sotogake. My second choice is the number 11 Disarm, and I haven't talked a whole lot about Disarm. Disarm will probably be the furthest back of any of the horses that I like. But with Joel Rosario, he's really good at sensing timing, and he has the best clock in his head of any jockey. And if they start to set slow fractions, he will move that horse up early, and he will be ready to go. So I have no worries about that. He'll know if it's going to be a blowout speed duel, which I don't think it will be, and he'll sit back and make his one run, or he'll know that, okay, Velasquez has the horse out there slowing the pace down. I got to get closer faster if I'm going to have any chance of closing in to a paceless race. So the jockeys make a big difference here. In a couple of horses that I will pretty much eliminate based on the jockeys, and you don't ever want to really do that. But in a race like this, the jockey means so much.
When you get to that, explain. What do you mean? I mean, not what do you mean, but what differentiates a guy that really knows what the hell he's doing, a great, well-known jockey, successful, compared to a guy that just like put me on the fucking horse? Not me, but I mean, you know what I mean.
No,
like,
definitely not you, but yeah, or me.
I'm too heavy.
All of us are. We're about the size of 3 jockeys, but yeah. No, the difference is these guys. I mean,
the experience.
Yeah, well, experience is a big thing. John Velasquez is the winningest jockey, going right now. He's the winningest active guy. But no, it's just natural talent. I mean, it's just like Connor McDavid versus some other third line guy. Like they're all hockey players.
That's incredible, though.
They're hockey players, but Joel Rosario is Connor McDavid, or Irad Ortiz is Austin Matthews versus the Jareth Loveberry is a third line center for the Blackhawks. Like they're all pros.
But I know
they're all good.
But we can't to watch a race, maybe you can. I don't know, Coach and I probably. You can't tell what the hell a jockey's doing if he's doing a good job or a bad job, can you?
you can. I
You
mean,
probably
the more
can, but I
races
just-
you watch, you'll know, and it depends on the horse. So a lot of times, the most important part about this is getting a jockey on a horse that fits the style. There's certain guys who are awesome on the lead, and there's other guys who are terrible on the lead, and there's guys who are great from closing off the pace, and guys who break really well from the gate but use their horse too quick. And so there's a bunch of different factors in there. But I have a confidence level in a few of these jockeys that I don't have in all of them. And the Ortiz brothers, so you got Kings Barnes, the 6, and obviously Forte, who's the favorite. Those are the Ortiz brothers. Those are two of the best jockeys in the world anywhere you're ever going to find. John Velasquez, as I said, the winningest jockey ever. He's he knows what he's doing. He's had more experience than anybody else. And if he's going to steal a race, he can kind of do that more so than a lot of these other guys. He's not ultra aggressive unless he needs to be. So he selectively picks his spots better than anybody. Joe Rosario has the best clock in his head of any jockey I've ever seen. Whether he's riding a closer or a front runner, it doesn't matter. He's the best at both. So he could keep the horse slow on the front or hopefully close into a fast pace and time the wire out perfect if he's got a closer. So those are like the top 4 guys that I would count on. I mean, you got Flavian Pratt, who's awesome. You got Christophe Lemaire, who's great international rider. He's riding the horse that I picked, Dermot Sotogake, so I'm hopeful that he'll do well. But you got a lot of new guys here. Javier Castellano's been around for a while. He's a very good jockey. Luis Saez, very aggressive. He could use his horse up too quick, so I worry. But the 3 and the 4, 2 Phils, jockey, and confidence game, Jareth Loveberry and James Graham, I'm not fans of them. I do not think they're very good riders, and they're a little out of their league here, so I would probably be playing against them. Ray's Kane's guy, Corrales, he's very experienced. Not sure he's got what it takes. Junior Alvarado on the 18, I'm not a big fan of his. Paco Lopez on the 19, solid, but not in the caliber of the first guys that I mentioned. So you have a definite difference there. Florent Giroux on the 12 is very good, and the other French jockey on the 14, Flavian Pratt. Both of those guys extremely good. And then Manny Franco down on the rail and Tyler Gaffalione, both very good riders too, but they're kind of disadvantaged by where they're breaking from, as we said.
So you are going to say horses that you're going to you're definitely fading. You're definitely fading that you say you think have no chance.
Yeah.
What there I'm sure there has to be several, 6, 7, 8.
And I always say that sometimes the best thing to do when you're going through this is figure out horses that you don't like first.
Right, exactly.
And then start to piece together about which ones you don't like but you want to use defensively, and then ones you absolutely are just certain that aren't going to factor into this race, which is never a certainty, but you can try. You can really get a good idea the more you study or you look at the times or whatever it is that you think is an important element to your handicapping. But I would say I'd almost have to take out, and I was very high on verifying, but until he drew the 2 post, I don't think he's going to be able to win this race. Now, Tyler Gaffalione, like as I said, he's really good. He's got a great trainer. Both of those horses are Brad Cox horses, so it's tough to bury those down in there and just forget about them because they are conditioned really well and they're really talented horses. But I'm going to pass on Hit Show. He's coming out of the Wood Memorial. He got upset. I don't like that race, and he is pinned in the 1 hole. Verifying, he was second in the Bluegrass. I liked him going in here, but the more I watched him and the more that I saw him breaking from the inside, I'm a little worried. So I'm probably going to pass on him. 2 Phils I was never high on. Not a big trainer, not a great jockey. He won the Jeff Ruby. He's taken the same path as Rich Strike did last year. I don't have confidence that that'll happen again, so I'll be passing on him. Confidence game, I don't like the rider. I think he'll be a part of the pace. I think he'll be close. I don't think he's fast as everyone thinks he is, but I don't think he really has enough to be able to win this race. I don't see any way that he does. Tapit Trice, the 5, great trainer. Really good rider in Saez. The trip's going to matter here for him. How he can work out a trip. I don't love his races that he's come out of. I think he struggles if he loses momentum. And in the Kentucky Derby, if you can't re-rally because you get cut off a lot, you got 20 horses that navigate. So that worries me. I'm not going to rule out the first 4. I would say I'm pretty much eliminating for most of my tickets.
Okay.
The 5 horse, I have to use a little bit because I think he can run in the third or fourth. I just worry about him being able to win because once his momentum stops, he's been horrible having to re-rally. So he's a one-run horse, which means, just think about it, you're out there running and a car comes out in front of you got to stop, and he can't get going again. So it's tough for him. So I don't love him to win, but I think he could factor in. Then the 6, 7, and 8, Kings Barnes, Reincarnate, and Mage. They'll be all horses that I'll be using on my ticket. Kings Barnes, ridden by Jose Ortiz. He's got good tactical ability. He can be anywhere in the first top 7. I think he's going to be very dangerous. He'll save ground. He'll do a really good job. I really like his chances. Reincarnate's the one that I thought would be a part of the pace. I think he could set the pace with Johnny V. He's the 7. I will definitely be using him. And then Mage, he's a very lightly raced horse. He's only raced 3 times. Javier Castellano's on him. He'll sit off, and I think he could be dangerous if he gets the right trip. He could be in there. He could probably be in the trifecta or the superfecta. The 9-horse Skinner, I'll be using him. He's the one closer that I think has the ability to be more forward than the other closers. So I'm going to take a shot with him. I don't think he's going to be able to win this race, but if you're going to play trifectas or even exactas and superfectas, I would definitely consider to use Skinner. Practical Move, I will not be using. His father was a one-turn horse. He was a really good one-turn horse. I think this horse is really talented, but I don't think this distance is right for him. He could be more of a Preakness-style horse or like a 7-furlong sprinting horse, so I'll be passing on him. Disarm, really like him. He's my second choice. If Derma Sotogake is my 1A, he's my 1B. Joe Rosario, Steve Asmussen's never won the Derby. I like this horse. I think he's been playing possum. I think he put him in races that he knew he could get a part of the top 3 or 4 to get the points to get in this race. I think he wanted to come in under the radar, and I think he has, and he's got Rosario, and that tells me right there this horse is live. Joe Rosario could have ridden any one of these horses, for the exception of the one that Irad Ortiz is on. If Joe Rosario wanted to ride any of these horses, he would have been able to. So that's a good sign to me. Really, really like him. And then the 12, Jace's Road, I think he'll be forward, probably part of the pace, but I don't think he's going to be a contender to be able to win this race. I don't see that materializing for him. The 14, I've heard 3 guys tell me that. Both the Respect brothers told me Angel of Empire, and then Schneid Dog gave it to me today too. So
really?
Take that for what it's worth. I think this horse is talented, but he's had everything his own way. He's never had to deal with any impediments. Very good, but I'm not certain that he has what it takes to win this race. I think his dosage speed, which I talked about on the show last week, which means he's more bred to be a sprinter type than he is a distance type. So I'm a little bit worried about the distance for this horse. I know that's weird, but his pedigree says that he can get it, but his dosage figures from his pedigree say that he may be better in going a little bit shorter. But he is good. If he gets on track and he's running down the alley, I'm not going to be able to get rid of him off my ticket. I'm going to have to use him in a 3 or 4 hole of superfectas and trifectas because he's talented enough that he can get a piece. Same with Forte. Can't leave him off altogether, but I'll definitely be trying to beat him. If you're trying to bet exactas or to win bets, I'd say leave him off. But if you're betting tries and supers, I'd say definitely put him in. Raise Kane, I'll be passing on him. I just don't think this horse has any type of ability to be able to win this. He won the Gotham, which in a mud-soaked track. I don't think he's very good. Inexperienced jockey, I say he has no chance. 17, Derma Sotogake. He'll be my top choice. He's got great tactical speed. He'll be forward. He's going to have a chance to make the first move, but he's also going to be able to save ground. I think he's quick enough from the gate. He gets over there, gets tucked in nice in 3rd or 4th spot, and then sits there and makes his move and sees how the horses in front of him are going. Christophe Lemaire on board, got the experience in last year's Derby. That'll help him a lot. Rocket Can. I was not very high on this horse, but he's one that the stocks went up on him as I watched more of his replays and started to really focus in on him. He had a pretty strong finish in the Arkansas Derby, which was better than what I originally thought. And I like him. I think he can definitely get in the top 3, so I'll be putting him in there. Lord Miles I'll be passing on. He's Paco Lopez is a tricky jockey to figure out. He's either really good out of the gate fast or he's decent as a closing jockey. Safi Joseph, who's a good trainer in Florida, I just don't think he can win on this level. He upset the field at the Wood Memorial. He shouldn't even really be in this race. Caught a weak field in New York and got the points to get in. And then Continuer. Not a lot of data on him. I've watched his races in Japan. A lot of times he's going the reverse direction, so it's tough to gauge. I would not completely get rid of him, but I don't think he wins. So those are... Go ahead, Chris.
No. No, finish. I just
no, that's it. That was the field.
No, I wanted to ask about Rocket Can, the number 8. What it says adds blinkers. Why?
Focus basically. So you got cup blinkers and you have like full blinkers.
Right.
So you can have where I can my peripheral vision I can see you like this. But if I have a full blinker on, I can't see you at all. If I have a half cup, I can see you a little bit, but I can't see what's coming from behind me. A lot of times these horses freak out, they panic, and it's just basically a guessing game. What will work? You're trying to unlock talent on these horses somehow, and it's something that hasn't been tried. And you know, I don't always love when a horse is trying something for the first time, especially in a race like this. So that worries me a touch. But sometimes, you know, Bill Mott's a guy who brings his horses along really slowly, and he may have worked them with some blinkers in the morning, and maybe he thought, hey, this horse focuses a lot better with blinkers. He could be very good if he could focus in the race. So yeah, that's definitely a key equipment.
So here's what I'm gathering from you.
Okay.
17 is your favorite, 7 is your next favorite, and 11 is those three are your top 3.
17, 11, and 7
are your top 3, and then you've got
my mid tier. I have about 6 horses that I'm kind of.
You got a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, and 20 are the ones that I'm looking as like your
that I'm going to have somewhere on my tickets. But if I'm going to just say if you're going to want to keep 17 and 11 on every one of your tickets, and probably 6 and 7.
So Joe Schmo Champ walks up and asks you, just I want to make a $10 bet, a couple $10 bets. What would you tell him to do?
If I was going to do that, I would do so say I would do a $12, so it'll be a $1 exacta box. If you box 4 horses, it'll cost you $12. So we'll say that. And again, I want to remind everybody who's watching this, go to our Twitter, and I'll put all the official things. I'll type all the bets out exactly about strategies and things like that I'm going to do. So I'm going to talk about it on our radio show tomorrow, and then we'll start to actually zero into the bets. Those will all be up on social media. So when you watch this Saturday morning, jump on Twitter. If you don't want to listen to me say I'm here, go on there and you'll see the actual official tickets that I'm going to put in. Yeah, so $12. What I'd say, if you're like a beginner type person and you want to do this, a $12 exacta box gets you 4 horses. So it's a $1 base bet, and you'll have 4 horses. They got to finish 1, 2, and all right. Any order.
Let's just say you got the 1, 2, 3, 4. Just say that. So $1 exacta box, you got the 1, 2, 3, 4. How does that work now? Let everybody know.
And that costs $12, right?
Yeah, $12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's you finish the top 2 is what you're trying to get. So my recommendation would be to play the 17, the 11. I would probably use Forte in there too. Just if you're somebody who's a swing for the fences kind of person, don't use Forte. But if you're somebody who just wants to win and thinks that that winning's more important than actually winning a lot of money, then you would want to put Forte.
So champ.
So guys who like to play favorites, and that's a tendency that a lot of people have. So but I would still use the 17. I'd probably say 17, 11, 6, and 15 if I was going to make a safer bet. But if you're going to go for home runs, it would be the 17, 11, 6, and 18. That would be my if that ticket comes in, you're probably going to make a good bit of change. You could also do trifectas. You can do a 4-horse box trifecta. I think that Churchill will have 50-cent tries, so that would be a $12 bet too. So you could box, but they got to finish in the top 3 too. So
no matter what order.
Yeah, no matter what order. If you're boxing, the boxing is the key there.
Now, if you want to play 1 over 2, like if you think the 17's going to win,
correct,
then you can play him over top of.
Yes.
Can you play him over top the field?
You can play him over the field. You can do that, and I recommend people who are if you have a few bucks and you want to try to make a lot of bucks, do that. Doing all in a spot is not a sign of weakness. It's smart. It's a smart way to build tickets, and you want to do that when you're doing multi-race exotics as well. But you want to. If you really like a horse on top, say I like the 17.
Right,
so what I would do is I would build a ticket to start it out with the 17 and the 11 and the 1 hole.
Wait, 17 and 11. What
on
is
the
it?
top? So I would have that. So if I'm going to do so let's just say it's a trifecta. So I'm going to go 17 or an 11 on top. So they've got one of those 2 has to win the race. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm going to go with.
And that's going to be 2 different tickets.
No, it would be the same ticket. It just multiplies.
Oh,
so
one
it's
of those.
Yeah,
one of those two has to hit.
Yes,
has to win.
So I would go 17 and 11 on top. Those are my top two picks.
Okay.
And then I would use the 17 in the 2-hole, the 17, the 11. So if one of them wins, then the other one could run second or vice versa. So you'd go back with the same two you put on top. So 17, 11 in the 1-hole, 17, 11 in the 2-hole, and then also in the 2-hole, the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 18. And then in the last hole, you go all. If you have the money to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you could go like this. You could go 17, 11 in the 1-hole. You could go all in the 2nd hole.
Okay.
And then you could go with the other 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 18 in the 3rd hole. So that's kind of how you build tickets, and that's how I'll build mine. Is I'll also have tickets that I'll say to hedge myself. Now I don't think this is going to be a speed duel race, but I'll play tickets with the horses that I think will be forward, and maybe the ones who would go faster than I'm thinking they are, with some of these closers that I would normally discount. But I'll play a couple backup tickets just in case.
So let's go back to if you play 17 and 11 on top, okay,
right.
And then you play. Who were your next couple that you said?
So I said 17, 11 on top, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, and 18.
Okay, now let's stop there. So that's to finish second, correct?
Right. So one of those horses would have to come in the second spot. Yes.
So if you have say, and then all 17, and then all as your third finisher, right?
Now, obviously, every horse you put in there adds cost to the ticket.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if you have 17, 11 on the top with a 6, 7, 8, 9, and 18 to finish second, and then all, like, what are you talking there as a cost?
Oh boy, I'd have to figure it out.
Okay. I mean, ballpark. If you're just, what would you bet? $2 a ticket there?
No, the trifectas normally, and Churchill has 50-cent base tries, so it's a 50-cent base wager. So that helps it. If it was $1, then it's double what you would.
Right.
So the 50-cent base wager keeps it down. Superfectas. Well, I think the Churchill has gone to just dollar supers. So if you're going to play the 4, it's going to be very pricey if you're going to use a lot of horses in your ticket, but. I'm trying to find a race here really quickly that would have anything near that amount of horses that I could do a test to see the actual pay, what the price would be. But you're basically multiplying every combination by 50 cents. So it's
okay. So there's that'd be hard to figure because then if you have all. After the first to finish third or they have to finish third, right?
Right.
If you have all, so that leaves you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That leaves you 13 horses. And so is that 13 bets then?
But then you got 13 bets times every combination of the other horses, the 1 and the 2 hole.
Okay, but 1 and the 2 hole. So that's. Okay, I see. So you would have 13.
So I mean, it's going to be. So
you'd have two horses on the top, 5 horses to finish second, and then 13 to finish third.
Right.
Then you have to figure all those combinations and multiply.
It's going to be a few $100 for
mm-hmm.
sure. So yeah,
a few $100.
Yeah. And that's just one. You don't have to do it. Like you can do exactas, which is just the top 2. So then you could do.
Could
5.
you do 17 all?
Yeah.
17 all.
17
exactly.
all being $19. You'd be 17 overall. You'd have 19 different combinations. And a dollar bet would be $19.
And then what you would hope for there, then obviously is you need the
biggest price. Yeah.
Then you want the long shot to finish second.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the way to do that. You can do if you're just looking to try to get the top 2 for $20. You can box 5 horses. So I mean, I think that's always a good value, especially in a race like
now,
this.
How does that work?
So that would be you have to finish first and second in either order. A $1 exacta box with 5 horses will cost you $20, and those have paid out $900, $1,100.
So you'd need the first 2 to finish exact, and then the third one.
No, you don't need a third one in that. You're in exacta. You're just getting the top 2.
No, I'm saying trifecta.
Oh yeah,
So you need 1, 2 to finish exact, and if you have like 4 different horses, that one of those 3 has to finish.
Any
third.
of those could finish third.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
and then obviously for the regular bettor, you can bet a horse to win, place, and show. Correct?
Absolutely, yeah. And I recommend doing that, especially if it's a horse you like at a price. You definitely want to You definitely want to take it.
So,
the worst thing you can do as a bettor is really like a horse. Like, I really like Dermot Sotogake, so I'm going to play him in a bunch of different things because if he wins the race, I want to make money.
Right.
I don't want to be like, oh, geez, I had a great pick on top, but another horse that I didn't like the let's say like the 16 or the 19 ran second, and I got nothing.
Right.
And I picked, and those were big giant prices that ran second behind the horse that I really liked, and it would pay monstrous. You don't want to ever miss out on that. So you got to make sure. So, the safe thing to do too, if you don't want to be a win better only, like to me, if you're going to bet $20 on a horse that's not a great price to win, you're better off betting like $40 on him to do an exacta. So you would say like Dermot Sotogake, the 17 overall. And so he wins, you got all in second spot,
right?
And then bet that instead of betting it just to win, because your payout will be better,
right?
Because if you catch a price in there, then your payout could be really, if you have Dermot Sotogake and you bet $20 on him and you win $100, if you have him and he wins at 10 or 12 to 1. And you happen to catch a really good price, you're going to win $500. So
right.
It's better bang for your buck.
Now, how many? And we'll end this because we're probably gone long, but it's really been interesting. I could sit and talk about this for a while. But how many total bets do you think you'll make? And what amount do you think you'll put on it?
I've bet anywhere from $500 to $1,000 on these races before, but so the thing about it is we didn't have a chance to talk about it because I'm still studying into the ticket, but I'll concentrate most of my efforts on multi-race, meaning the races leading up.
Yeah.
So I'll have other horses and other races that'll be keys, and then when I get to this, the key is to be alive. You've had 4 winners in, and you got your big ones here, and the payouts are enormous.
So do you have to pick the winner of the
So pick 4 would be the winner of. So this is going to be race 12, the Derby. So you'd have to pick races 9, 10, 11, and 12 for the pick 4, or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, so you can't pick like race 1, 5, 7, 9.
It's succession, and so it's where the track sets it too. You don't have a choice.
Okay.
So so they give you the number races, and they're going to be really good races. So these are all going to be filled with really good horses who have won stakes races before. And are really top of the line.
Do they all run the mile and a quarter? Or?
No. You'll have different ones. You'll have 7 furlongs on grass. You'll have a mile and a half on grass. You'll have sprint on dirt. You'll usually have about 5 different combinations of different races in the pick 5s and then 4 in the pick.
Chris,
4,
will you bet anything on this race?
Probably not. You know what, though? This does get me kind of excited.
Who's your pick, Chris, if you have to go with
Well, I actually,
before we get to
before
Sam.
you even started, I circled Dermot Sotogake, and I also 14, Angel of Empire.
Well,
even though I know you don't like him. But,
well, I know, but the fact that you picked my horse concerns me more than you picked an Angel of Empire.
Would you rather me pick it?
I would know.
Champ's going with Forte for sure.
I'd have rather no one did. But
Champ, so Forte's what, 3 to 1?
Yeah, roughly.
And so so Champ will maybe put $10 down on,
maybe 5. But yeah. Now I'll give him a horse, and no, that horse can't win. He'll say me, no. What are you talking about? That horse can't. win.
He's 30 to 1. How's he going to win?
Because I could see him calling the 18 horse Rocket Can't, just because he's
Well, Coach, who's your gut say? Anybody you like?
No, and there's nobody that I have an absolute. I just have enjoyed listening to your analysis, and I'm going to bet Dermot Sotogake for sure.
All right. So be sure and check out the Instagram and the Twitter pages this weekend. You can see all of my picks, what I do, what I recommend as far as ticket building and all that stuff. So I'll put all that together. Yes.
And where can you find all the different bets like that? The different bets that you can make, and just the.
Well, I mean, you can go to the Twin Spires website or the Churchill Downs website, and you can go and they can show you all the different markets they have. And you got to be cautious. And I know a lot of people realize that they may not realize that superfectas and the base wagers are sometimes different on these big racing days. So a 10-cent base wager of a superfecta, I don't think they have that anymore. It's at least 50 cents at Churchill. So be sure you're ready for that, because that makes your ticket cost a lot more if you're not ready for it. But yeah, all right, I'll have everything up on our social, and Jub will post them on Instagram, and hopefully we can bring home some winners, and we'll go from there.
Can't be anybody knows any more than you guys. That's for
well,
sure. Jesus.
Sometimes it doesn't matter. You might know, but other times you feel really good because the race worked out.
You ought to be on that TVG, man.
I'd like to be.
My God,
it's unbelievable.
All right, we'll be right back with the final segment of Bettor's Last Stand. We're going to have Sam in here and talk about racing, basketball, and baseball. You're listening to Bettor's Last Stand. We'll be right back.
Reminder: Bettor's Last Stand is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. You're watching Bettor's Last Stand.
All right, welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand. We got Sam with us now, Skyping in. He's got his Pine Room hoodie and his Bucko hat on. Sam, how we doing this week? Bucko's still riding high. Yesterday was a tough loss against the Rays, but if Austin Hedges could have got a hit, it might have turned out differently.
Yeah, I'll get into that a little bit later, but I'm doing good. How you three gentlemen doing?
We're doing well. We're doing pretty well.
Waiting for some dry weather.
It's coming.
Good luck.
Yeah, the
coming.
Weather hasn't been fun, so...
raining all day.
Before we get into your main wheelhouse here of racing, let's talk a little bit about the Major League Baseball season so far, and what your observations have been like from this week since we talked to you last. You still feeling good about the Pirates, I'm sure. Anything else stick out? Any interesting bets that you've come across, or any guidance you want to give the listeners this week?
Yeah, I definitely think the Pirates are fine. I mean, you can't have months of like pitchers throwing 17, 18 consecutive games of 6+ innings. You can't do the stolen base thing. Like, all of that's going to taper its way down, but I definitely think they're in a way better spot than they have been, for sure. But also this series that they're in right now against the Rays, I mean, if you look at the AL East, Matt,
yeah,
it's disgusting. It is the best division in baseball. It is so different than our division that I think we're kind of getting shocked right now that we kind of got played with last night, honestly.
Yeah, you got the Yankees in last place.
Yeah.
That's a really, really good division.
Orioles are playing great.
Incredible.
Toronto, obviously, pretty good. Tampa playing great. So, yeah, top to bottom it may be. And the Red Sox aren't even very good, but they score a lot of runs and give up a lot of runs. But, yeah.
The Buccos got the Blue Jays. I'm going to that game Saturday with Bonnie.
Oh, nice. Well, hopefully the weather will be good and guys can see a
70 and sunny, baby.
A victory. Yeah, so a couple notes that I had here on baseball. Non-division favorites this year, 79 and 43. So that's pretty strong. We talked about that before on the show, about the division games, how much more difficult the teams know each other. The pitchers and the hitters, they match up and face each other so often. So that was interesting. And then road interleague favorites, 31 and 17 so far on the year. And the top teams as far as ROI goes, so that's return on investment, are the Rays plus 17 or 15 units, the Pirates plus 14 units, and the Orioles plus 10 units. None of that was hard to figure out, I guess, if you've been paying attention at all. And then the worst teams, the Cardinals, minus 15 units, the A's minus 14 units, and the White Sox minus 12 units. Sam, do you see the Cardinals turning it around at any point?
I don't. I think they're old.
Yeah,
I just think they're old, and they finally hit that spot of like, man, they just didn't do enough, and they got rid of too much.
Yes, no, I agree.
10 and 20.
I've heard a lot of people close to the team, St. Louis media and stuff, saying there's something missing here in this team. And unlike past years, they were pretty certain that they would get it on track. They do not believe that will happen this year. So yeah, I think you're right there. It might be it for the old Cardinals, which I'm not going to lose any sleep over.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Matt, I just said, you were talking about how the strength of the AL East. Have you seen the AL Central? How fucking unbelievably bad they are. That whole division.
What, you mean the Indians?
Just the whole division.
Yeah, it's bad.
They have one team over 500. That's the Twins. They're only 17 and 13.
Yeah.
Kansas City 7-23. They're 1-13 at home.
Yeah.
Minus 68 run differential. This is pathetic.
They blew a lead to the Orioles last night.
Yeah, I mean that is just. I mean, I thought. I mean, when we were talking about right before the season started, just giving some picks, and we thought the White Sox. They're 9-21.
I missed on them bad.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And the worst player in that division, Josh Bell. Fuck him, he sucks. Terrible.
He's paid though. He got what he needed. He got the money.
2 years, $34 million.
Yep.
All right, I'm done.
All right, well, let's move along to Chris's favorite sport, the NBA. Sam, LeBron, Chris's boy LeBron gets the job done last night. Do you think that they take out the Warriors? I tend to think the Lakers might win this series if they stay upright and none of their guys get hurt. What do you think?
I think 100% I'm in agreement with you. I said to Chris, it sounds so stupid and elementary, but like the Lakers are bigger and more physical, and I just think they're gonna just outman them.
Yeah,
I know that you can shoot, but at a certain point, man, it's LeBron. Yeah,
and if Klay Thompson doesn't shoot better than he did last night, it's going to be a tough time for the Warriors. But I hate to say it, but I think the Lakers might be the team to beat in the West.
They very well could be.
Do you see it that way too? What do you think happens in the Nuggets and Suns series?
I think the Suns are going to lose. I don't think they have enough depth. I think they got rid of way too much when they got Kevin Durant.
Right. And Chris Paul's on the shelf.
The annual rite of passage. He gets hurt in the fucking playoffs. And
always.
He's going to be out at least 3 games. They said he'll miss games 3, 4, and possibly 5.
Yeah.
He's always got an excuse for not getting a ring.
Yeah, he sure does.
Always.
Hey, can I read you a real quick stat?
Please.
Basketball. Talking about obviously you heard it. Best ability is availability. I just wanted in 12 seasons with the Bulls. Jordan started 938 out of 984 games. But you take out his second season when he had a broken foot, take that out, in 11 full seasons, he started 896 out of 902 games. And these guys, I mean, again, we talk about it all the time about just, take some time off, load management. But this is Chris Paul in a nutshell. Every year.
It is.
And it's just a groin or a hamstring. Like he never breaks anything. Just one of his muscles.
It's all the star players. Sprained knees, all this shit.
So the Phoenix is done.
You think so?
Yes, I do. You don't?
Nope.
Really?
I'm still playing the Suns in 7.
Once they go off elevation, they just got.
Do they have home court?
No, Nuggets do. Yeah, they just got to win one game.
What are you sold on for them?
You don't like the
Durant and Booker? Isn't that enough?
Yep. What are you playing there, Matt? You think Nuggets beat them?
I think it goes. I bet the series that goes 7 games, regardless of winner. That's just the bet that
Nuggets in 5.
Wow,
might be.
Hey,
but I don't know anything.
I got some baseball numbers I want to throw out just see how we're feeling. So I'm looking at this Mitch Keller over under 5.5 innings tonight is plus 100. Do you think he'll go under 5.5? I think he could, man. He's had a lot of solid starts. He's due for a bad one.
Yeah, that's a tough place.
He's been pretty good so far, hasn't he, with his starts? He's had quality starts.
They haven't lost.
You gave us a great one on Jacob deGrom early in the season.
And he gave us.
Yeah, and I see Alec Manoah over 4.5 innings. They're playing the Red Sox. That's plus 100.
Yeah, him and Verdugo might fight tonight, so that could be interesting. So you got to watch that. He might beat him and then get thrown out. So got to be careful.
And then there's an Ohtani. Under 6.5 is plus 100. I'm just like 6.5. They play the Cardinals. You get a lead, take them out. I can see it.
The problem is
going
the Cardinals.
I know.
That's the problem. I know. All right, I like those though. Those are definitely worth a look for sure. All right, so tell me what you think real quick about the Eastern Conference. We said a few weeks ago that Joel Embiid would win the MVP, and he did. Where do you see the Heat and Knicks going in the what's the other series? The Celtics and the Sixers. Yeah. What are your thoughts on those?
I think that the Heat are going to beat the Knicks. I think the Knicks are just going to get out-coached. I think Spoelstra is a great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the stat that they had 74 points by an undrafted players in the last game, which, holy shit.
One of them, a friend of the show, Haywood Highsmith from Wheeling.
Yeah, so it's like when you can get your team to do that, oh, man. I really do think the Heat Heat might be the team, man.
They might win the East because the Celtics looked like shit the other night.
That's unbelievable.
And Missoula, I don't trust him as a coach.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on.
And the Heat got what they wanted. They wanted to split in New York.
Right,
so
that's all they
good.
needed. Butler didn't even play. They almost won.
Right, they almost did win. So
when is Randall supposed to come back?
That's a good question.
I think the next game, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they said probably game 3. So, all right. So let's. It could be a Heat versus. Boy, I don't even know.
I think the Sixers will win that series. But is Embiid? Is he struggling with a little bit of a knee issue?
Oh yeah, but now he won the MVP. He's coming back now. So
okay.
He's just gonna. If he didn't win that MVP, he would have pouted, and he may never have played in the whole series. Now he's back with a vengeance. And I bet he gets hurt again before the series is over. All right, Sam, before we switch over to racing, questions for you right here. These are bets I'm going to ask you about, and well, you guys could give opinions too. Right now, the Pirates plus 220 to make the playoffs. Where's your money? You think that's a realistic bet?
Fuck. God, it hurts me to say this. I'm going to go with right now, no.
Okay, no's minus 260. No. Coach, what do you think?
No, because we played good.
I say no also.
Okay.
We're starting to play good teams, and I'm starting to see things I don't like.
Right. Chris, what do you say?
No? I don't think
minus
so.
260?
No. It's too early.
I might take a shot with it just because I don't know how good the National League is right now. I feel like the American League might be a little bit better. All right, next team who's staying in the Central Division, the Cubbies. Plus $3 to make the playoffs, minus $365 to miss the playoffs. Sam, what do you think about the Cubbies?
I think they can make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I do.
I think between the Pirates and the Cubs, however that season series goes, I think one of those teams will have a shot of making the wild card. But depends on how they play against each other. What do you guys think? Cubs have a shot?
Oh, I think the Cubs. Cubs. I've touted the Cubs.
Yes,
I think the Cubs win up. I think they'll win the division,
overtaking Milwaukee.
Yes,
eventually.
I think they'll win the division.
Yeah. Okay. I agree, Coach.
Yeah, they do hit. They score a lot of runs.
We have been on the Cubbies, Coach and I. That'd be one of the few that we both had that might work out. And then go into the American League. Let's go to the East. Orioles plus 145 to make the playoffs. It looks really good right now, but can the pitching hold up?
Yes, they're going to win the division.
Oh, wow.
Boy.
I hope.
Over the Rays?
Yep.
Oh.
What are the Yankees right now?
Yankees, that's the last team we were going to ask. They are minus 290 to make the playoffs, plus 245 no. I like the no bet there. I think that's a good bet.
That'd be a great bet.
I think it's a great bet.
Yeah, plus 245 on the no. All right, book it, fans. All right.
Yep.
All right, let's shift over.
Matt,
yes.
Matt, I want to say we got the one domino I need for my MVP.
Yes, I know. You did.
What's that?
I just hurt.
Yeah,
Adley Rutschman MVP.
Yes,
it's
Rutschman.
Plus 1,500
yeah,
still.
but now we got to get Jake Ottinger to get bounced back after his bad night last night. But he will. He will, though. He will. He no question about it. Yeah. Sam gave Rutschman the catcher for. We said Judge needed to get hurt, and Ohtani has to get traded at the deadline. So Judge got hurt. And now when Ohtani gets shipped to the National League,
I need one more.
If the Orioles win the division, then he'll have a really good chance. That'll be an incredible winning bet if that would ever cash. But
it just sucks that it's something like the Pirates couldn't ever get like a guy like Ohtani.
Oh, they got that. I
It'd
was
be
going
so
to say
cool,
Rutschman.
though.
Yeah, I'd take him.
It's always the 5 or 6.
Well, he's not better than Austin Hedges.
I'd like to point this out. I know you're talking about Henry Davis, our number one overall pick catcher. We brought up Jack Sawinski from Double-A to the majors. He skipped Triple-A. Why are we not doing
and
that?
Henry
with
Davis is killing in Double-A. Killing.
Is he still in Double-A? Where's he in Altoona?
No. Where is he? Altoona?
That's Double-A, right?
They just don't want to start as Major League clock, I'd assume, right? Is that
right.
What they
but hey, our Major League clock's running out.
Well, I know, and you finally have a decent ball club. If you had a better catcher, that might help.
Well, the other guy, too, the Andy Rodriguez.
Right, we got some players.
No, I think he's a catcher, too.
He's a catcher, too,
yeah.
So, Coach, explain this to me. Why the hell did Castro go after that ball at shortstop if he couldn't see it from the beginning?
I don't know. I actually didn't see it, but I heard Jarrett screaming about it. He was so mad.
I was screaming too. He just kept running after it, but as soon as it was hit up, he said he couldn't see it. So if you can't see it, what are you running after?
Right. Yeah, that Jarrett was going nuts.
Oh my!
Hey, he's been in that stadium because they were talking about like the different beams, the ceiling, the color of it. That's they said it's really hard.
Yeah, he can lose stuff.
But not that he would tell you, the ceiling's messed up. Not messed up. It's just hard.
His phone was probably going off in his pocket.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump over to racing. So last week Your boy Scott McLaughlin got on track with a win down in Alabama in IndyCar. IndyCar's off this week. McLaughlin won at 7-1. They'll be at the Indy Road Course and then on to the 500. So we'll be in Indy for the next month. Coming up next week. Let's go to Formula One really quickly, as we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it. Red Bull dominates again, but this time a different winner. Sergio Perez wins last week at Baku in Azerbaijan, and now we're coming to the United States. Miami Grand Prix on Sunday. Max Verstappen minus 225, the favorite. Sam, I ask you every week, can anybody beat Red Bull this week, or we just book it? Max Verstappen bounces back.
Unless they ship their cars to the wrong location. It's just mad. It seems impossible.
Yeah, he won last year. Ferrari actually ran well here. They ran second and third last year. Sergio Perez was fourth. What do you think? Is there any shot that the Ferrari guys could get double podium or double T6? They're minus 140. It's not a terrible bet. Who else do you expect to run well? Do you think Fernando Alonso continues his good season?
Yeah, I think Aston Martin's solidified themselves so they can keep their car up in the top 5 for sure. But it's just Red Bull, Alonso, Mercedes, and then McLaren's ran a little better these past couple races.
Slight improvement.
But God, Ocon sucks. Nick DeVries sucks.
Yeah. A lot of new
Some
guys.
Of these guys are
terrible.
In bad spots, man.
Lance Stroll's been doing all right. Yeah, I did. We talked who would be the first guy to win other than a Red Bull. Might be Alonso, but I don't see that happening this week. I think Max defends his title in Miami. He led 48 laps last year, followed by Charles Leclerc, who had 8 laps led. So looks like another Red Bull week. We'll put our final picks up on social media for you folks to watch or to check out, make a bet. But it looks like it's going to be Red Bull domination again. I thought maybe Aston Martin double top 10 minus 160 was an all right bet, but you're having to really scrape anything together to win money. In this.
You do.
Although last week we did hit with the double podium for Red Bull. That seems like a good bet every week, no matter what the price is. So keep that rolling. All right, let's jump over to Kansas. Let's go out to the deep in the heart of Kansas. Kansas Motor Speedway, the Advent Health 400. Last week, my boy Martin Truex gets the job done on a Monday. Cashing a 12-1 for me. Coach had him as well.
Yes.
So that was a good Monday for us after it got rained out. Last year at Kansas, Chris's boy Bubba won the fall race, and Kurt Busch won the first race. So you had 23-11 Racing dominating last year at this circuit. Sam, to me, it looked like most of the stats that I looked at, Toyota seems to be maybe the strongest cars here. They've won 5 of the last 7, including the last 2. Who are some of the guys that you're looking at this week that could be, kind of the favorites, and then some underdogs that you're trying to search out?
Well, you brought it up, Toyotas. I like Tyler Reddick.
Okay.
He's ran pretty strong and consistent. Yes. But when I'm looking at these past winners, I see a Truex, I see Hamlin, and I see Busch. I see Kyle Busch's name a couple times.
Yeah.
So Reddick and Busch are my 2 that I think top 5 easily. Chastain, his name is up there in the top 10s in these past couple races, but holy shit, every week this guy, every week.
Wrecked somebody else last week, took out Larson, messed up your bet. You had
Wreck-em Ross?
Big time.
Yeah, Wreck-em Ross. Wreck-em
Ross. He is Wreck-em Ross. He really is, man.
It was funny when Truex and Chastain were battling for a while till Chastain sort of lost it a little bit. They were talking about lap traffic at Dover, and they said Martin Truex has a lot of friends out there that won't fight him to get by, but Ross Chastain doesn't have very many friends.
No. His only friend went to the garage.
Suarez. Because they were talking about how lap traffic was going to affect both of them, and they said how many guys don't like Ross Chastain. So
they said Larson was kind of blocking him too there.
Yeah, they said,
and then of course then Chastain. Oh, I think it's pretty good to have a kind of a villain guy. I mean, I think it's good for the sport, but then he didn't want to comment. Like they asked him about Larson blocking, he said, "I no comment." Like he was pissed, but yet he's causing chaos 80 laps into a 400 lap race. So it's what he gets.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, it is what he gets.
I'm with you. My top guy this week was Kyle Busch. I thought at 14-1. Thought there was great value on him. Tyler Reddick's 7-1, but he's definitely going to get a lot of play, being that he's in the Toyota now and on a team that's ran really well here. And I also think Denny Hamlin, his price was a little too low, but I like him too. I think he's going to be a top 5 car. And honestly, Larson, Truex, these guys both have run well there. But my top guys were Kyle Busch. I actually like Chris Bell a lot too. He's 12-1 in the Toyota. I think he'll run really well. He's had back-to-back top 5s in Kansas. So my top 3 are Kyle Busch, Chris Bell, and actually Ross Chastain was my third choice, and then a couple of dark horse guys. I on principle, a guy who's won here 3 times, not in the same car. Joey Logano's won here 3 times. He's 28-1. That's absurd. He can't be. He's the best driver on the circuit.
I know, and I thought he's probably going to win a championship again.
Yeah, and he got wrecked last week. You know he's going to be pissed. I think that's insane. So I'm going to bet him just strictly out of principle. Kevin Harvick, probably a decent top 10 bet here. And then Austin Dillon and Austin Cindric, I thought both could maybe get top 10s. Any guys under the radar, Sam, that you like this week off of the big guys?
I'm looking at like a Ty Gibbs. Drives a Toyota.
I consider him too.
I think he's good, man. I really do think he's good. He's so young.
Right.
I think he could sneak up into the top 10.
And he's a part of a team that's had a lot of success there, so that's got to be good. Yeah. Coach, anybody you're looking at?
I'm going to play Logano like you guys said, and I like Truex again to run well here.
He's had good cars. Truex has had.
He has.
And he was my pick for the championship, so I'm hoping he gets it rolling and finally got a win, get a little momentum. But he's had really good cars and a lot of bad pit luck, so maybe he keeps it rolling. Chris, who are you looking at?
Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs.
Okay.
Ooh, I like that.
I like Ty Gibbs, at least in top 10.
I think that's a good bet.
It's also possible, Matt, we could get another Josh Berry top 10.
Yeah, no, he's been pretty good. I got to say, he's going to get a ride here eventually. Probably. I mean, Hendrick wants to probably keep him in there, and within arm's reach, being the junior motorsports guy. But yeah, no, he's done well. How long's Bowman going to be out for? A couple more weeks at least.
A couple more weeks, yeah.
Are you guys fading anybody? That strong fade.
I honestly, I probably would fade Bubba.
Oh yeah, I fade Bubba.
Yeah,
every
big
week.
time.
And I've done well too, very well.
I would fade Bubba, and then
what about Elliott?
Yeah,
I was thinking that
he's not been super at this track.
Yeah,
he probably a guy. Maybe Brad Keselowski too. A little bit. Now he's picked it up. He's had a pretty good season compared to what he did last year. But I don't really love like some of the Fords here. I know I said that's counterintuitive since I said bet Joey Logano based on principle, but he's just that good. But Fords, Sam, is that kind of what you saw too? The Fords haven't been quite as strong as the Toyotas and the Chevys at Kansas in recent years.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at some of these results here at just the manufacturers, and it's just Chevy, Toyota, right. And then there's like one Ford sprinkled in every now and then.
Right.
I agree with you 100%.
Yep. So I'll be going against Bubba. Ricky Stenhouse has run all right here, but I'll probably fade him a little bit too. I don't.
How do you feel about a William Byron?
William Byron. Honestly, William Byron might be one of the better drivers on the whole circuit. He's really good.
Strong, man.
He's a tough guy to fade because when he gets locked in, he had a really good car last week. He could have easily won that race. He's had some bad luck, but definitely very strong. And I consider him, and you said it before, he may be the best driver in the whole Hendrick stable, and that's a loaded stable. I mean, those guys are just one after another. I mean, once Elliott gets cranking here, he'll go on a run here in a few weeks once he gets settled back in.
Yeah.
He'll win a few races and be in the top 5 every week for sure. But all right,
Sam, you like the Buccos tonight? You sound like you like the Rays a little bit tonight.
I think Keller's due for a bad one, man. I do. Baseball works that way.
I bet the game over the total. I'm with Matt. Pirates hit left-handers pretty well. You're right. Keller's about due to have a bad outing. I like the game over a lot tonight.
What is that? 8.5?
It was 8.5.
Yeah.
We need Key Brian Hayes to just fucking get on base, man. Jeez.
You better quit hoping for that because that's never going to work.
Chris, I feel like an idiot. I feel stupid.
Fucking guy.
So good defense. He's so good defensively, and then it's like he's got one of those yellow wiffle ball bats when he goes to bat.
Yeah, he's it's a good thing he can play decent corner infield there on the hot corner, but yeah, he can't hit at all. Sam, any other thoughts? Anything sticking out to you? What do you think of NFL draft? Did you have any thoughts? The Steelers did pretty well, huh?
Yeah, the Steelers did great on paper. It's a great draft, but these guys, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
they might show up to training camp and just get fucking bullied.
It's hard to grade this year's draft until about 3 or 4 years from now.
We said.
Probably.
Yep,
right. Right. I mean, it looks great on paper, but I also was going to say I hope that Perry Ellis is driving the pace car at Kansas this weekend. If you guys remember Perry Ellis, the guy that played at Kansas for like 10 years.
Yeah.
It looked like he was like 40. I love that guy.
Perry Ellis.
Oh, yeah.
Put him in the pace
What,
car.
did he drive it last year?
No, I was actually at work laughing. I was at work laughing out loud like an idiot, imagining Perry Ellis driving the pace car.
I could probably get 90 to 1 on that bet if we could find it somewhere. I don't know who else would be up for it. Maybe Toto from Wizard of Oz.
Bill Self or
Bill Self. He's recovering from heart issues. Or maybe that Dick kid. The one, what's his name? Grady Dick.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's a dick, though. Yeah. He seems like it. All right, Sam. Anything else before we leave you for the week?
I mean, go Bucks. The AL East is an absolute wagon.
Yeah.
Just if you're a Pirate fan, it's going to be all right.
All right.
It's going to be all right.
Good words of wisdom. All right, buddy. Well, we will check in with you. Actually, we're going to be off for a couple weeks because I'm going to be on vacation. But I'm still going to get your picks from you, and I'll let you know. When we're back. It'll probably be 2 weeks. So
beautiful.
But until then, we appreciate you joining us as always. Thanks for the great insight on all the stuff, and enjoy your weekend. And let's win some money.
All right, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good night,
fellas. Let's
Sam.
go Bucks, baby.
All right, guys.
Thank
See
you.
Sam.
Bye.
All right, so that about does it for us here on BLS. As you heard me mention to Sam, we will be off for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be on vacation, and these guys are going to send me their picks, and we'll still put everything up on social media. So enjoy the couple-week break. If you got sick of listening to us, hopefully you didn't, but you can still follow all of our picks on social media. So I'll try to have those out probably on Thursday or Friday, probably get coaches stuff for Thursday for golf, and then whatever Chris usually sends picks out on the weekend, and then I always put Sam's up as well. So if you didn't have time to listen to the whole show or you forgot to, be sure to check out social media. You can get all of our picks right as we go through the weekend, usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Wrap around on Monday if there's anything of interest. One thing I wanted to mention to you guys really quickly before we left, did you see this thing in Ohio pulling down the college baseball game?
I saw that,
Alabama and LSU.
They said there's some fishy stuff going on.
Yeah.
We talked about that last night.
What, some inside info?
Well, I talked to contacted the West Virginia Lottery today, and I was hoping that he would have reached out to Ohio because I was curious if we were going to have to pull it down or any other states. But so far, no other states have. I'm thinking this was a false alarm. I'm not sure what happened, but the alleged suspicious activity occurred at the BetMGM Sportsbook at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. It was only one bet or one transaction, which is odd to me. Usually, you can't really establish a pattern with one bet.
Right.
So I asked Jarrett on the podcast last night if to look up the Alabama roster. He's follows college baseball so much that he may know if they had a kid from Ohio. So I was wondering if maybe a kid from Ohio either was given info or opened an account or whatever. Something was odd about it. And then today I read that it was just a bet that happened at the Great American Ballpark about the game. But Alabama suspended they were suspended in the state of Ohio as far as college baseball. They would not take wagers on any Alabama games. Alabama AD said they're investigating it. LSU's been cleared of all wrongdoing, so they had no stake in the matter. So I'm not really sure. LSU a big favorite in the game, in the series, of the number one team. They ended up winning the game 8-6. I think they were up 8-1. I don't know. I don't know where the suspicion comes from.
I don't know.
So more info hopefully come out on that, and hopefully it's nothing too severe, and we can move on there. And then the last thing, Coach, before we go, college football playoff. Did you see the format for the playoff?
Oh, the 12 team.
Yeah. Did you see?
Wow.
Did you see? Friday, they're going to be Friday, one game, 3 on Saturday. These are going to be on December 20th and 21st. So you have one game Friday, the 20th, and 3 games on the 21st. And then you got the quarterfinals, which will be on Friday, New Year's Eve. There'll be one game, and
no
then
game
3,
Saturday.
Yeah, and then 3 on New Year's Day.
Yes.
Yeah,
on New Year's Day.
Yeah, New Year's Day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they got New Year's Day back to being like the key day of football. Chris, I know you really like that.
So there's the top 4 will get a bye, right? Yeah, top 4 will get a bye. Then
because then you'll have 4 games, 4 games, 12, and 6, then the semis on the 9th and the 10th Thursday
That's
and
pretty
Friday,
cool.
and then the championship though still on a stupid
Chris,
Monday.
isn't that great?
It's awesome. I can't wait.
Now and then I think
it's all about the money, right?
Sure.
On that one of
what
these,
isn't
everything. You're right. Everything is.
Yeah, you got a lot to look forward to there. So, all right, well that does it for us here on Bettor's Last Stand. As I said, we'll be back here in a couple of weeks, but be sure and follow all of our content at the Pine Room Podcast. And check out our BLS Twitter. We'll have all the pics on there, all the stuff on Instagram as well. Guys, any parting thoughts before we take a couple weeks off?
No, enjoy your vacation, Matt. You're well-deserved. I hope they hold the fort down at the casino. I hope Champ's okay without you.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have to get some extra money brought in.
We'll miss you at the Vets and miss you on the show. And
I'll be back before you know it.
On our you're right.
And I'll be checking in there regularly.
Well, I tell you, who's going to miss you the most is probably Mark McLaughlin if we don't have any Sunday
boards.
No
more payouts.
Right.
No, you guys can still do them. I'll make Ace and...
I'll do them.
Yeah, because I'll...
$250 that guy's won.
Ace and Champ can handle
2 weeks.
Yeah, but he'll buy drinks, though.
He will. He will.
Well,
good for him.
His son usually watches the show, so Brad, thanks for checking us out. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. As I said, we'll have all the content up, so you can catch all of our stuff. Be sure and check us out on the radio, 7 hours a week. I'll be checking in. Chris will be checking in. We'll have all the regulars, Roy C. and Dan and Father Guido and all the buddies. So if you haven't listened to our radio show, I encourage you to do so. You get sports and a whole lot of other stuff. So it's a fun time every day here on the Watchdog.
And go buy clothing now. The summer line.
Check out our new Pine Room Shop stuff, thepineroomshop.com. Be sure and check it out. Joe put a bunch of stuff on there
Can't
yesterday.
wait to get those slides.
New garments, all kinds of different things for
I like the swim trunks. Those are sharp. I like those.
Chris will be rocking the swim trunks in a few weeks, no doubt. So, all right, that does it for us. For Matt, Coach, and Chris, have a great weekend. Good luck in the Kentucky Derby. Hopefully we win you some money, and we will see you back here in a couple of weeks on Bettor's Last Stand.
See ya. Bye. Good work, man.